Hi guys, my name is Chris and welcome back to another health empowerment video. This video is focused around trying to keep your sanity when it seems like a time of significant political turmoil. And there's a lot of divisiveness between our country and the United States, and the world is watching us as the Trump administration has taken office. Now, if you're watching this 5 to 10 years down the road, this still may apply because it's just meant to be, I like to serve by giving people the tools they need to thrive despite any health circumstance. So that's the mission of my channel. If that's something that interests you, consider subscribing. What I'm noticing with this election is a great deal of divide on social media to the point where it just becomes toxic. And I've talked about this in some of my courses in managing depression and anxiety, on how we need to be able to create some space between us and some of this toxicity. And that doesn't necessarily mean that we need to completely bury our head in the sand, not at all. But we need to make sure that we find that balance between living a healthy life and making sure that our mind, body, and spirit is well nourished. And so we're taking the time to charge our batteries so we're ready when those things come at us to be able to cope with them in a healthy way. Because I don't think I've ever noticed this much content online about an election or a candidate. And I think there's good reasons for that both sides could agree. This isn't meant to be about my political views or how I feel about one candidate or another. It's just trying to keep my mental health, your mental health, in a place where you're able to cope with the amount of input from other people in dividing views. Facebook is never going to be, or social media is never going to be a place where you're going to decisively change someone's mind about their political views. So if it's friends or family, don't even, I've made this mistake before, don't even get into it. It never is, it's not gonna help you grow, especially if each side is attacking the other's views and is trying to just be right, instead of coming to a point of understanding. And people tend to say things that are a lot more noxious online and a lot more bold online that they wouldn't otherwise say because they're behind a computer and they're not in front of someone's face. And even if they were, that's not the point. The point is this: find that level where you're comfortable enough and you've put up your barriers, you've done enough meditation, you've done enough deep breathing, you've done enough connecting with family members and friends to recharge your batteries so you're ready to see some of these posts. And then decide if you need to do something more, like a filter of some kind, and you need to filter out some of those posts. As of the filming of this video, I'm using a plugin called Social Fixer, which allows me to completely block out any keywords related to political phrases from people on my Facebook. And it's not because I want to just bury my head in the sand and I don't want to be aware of what's going on in the world. Trust me, I get plenty of that elsewhere as a physical therapist, on the news, going to a gym, those kind of things. I feel like I don't need that little extra bit of that, especially because it seems like there's so much more heated debate online than any other venue I've ever seen. I think another important point to keep in mind with the political spectrum is that when the pendulum swings one way, it will eventually swing back the other way. And I'm sure we'll see that if this election disappoints you or you're scared about the outcomes of it, believe me, it's going to swing back the other way, maybe sooner than later. I think a critical part of keeping your mental health up during a time that seems difficult for you is developing meaningful relationships. And that doesn't mean you have to stay directly within your political spectrum or belief spectrum. Branch out and find other people that challenge you a little bit, but aren't so toxic they're just going to immediately shut you out and criticize everything that you believe. I've had several clients say to me that they feel powerless with the outcomes of this election, and if they have a real impact on the political decisions or not. So I think what you can do about that, a possible option, is to get involved on a local level, and that means not just signing these online petitions. I mean, that's great and all, but that does nothing compared to calling, or even better, showing up at the events where some of your legislators are at. If you're passionate about something, if you really want to make a change in something, then you have to be present. You have to be present, because if it's just one of these half-ass efforts, then you're not going to really make a difference in the long run. I hate to say it, but it's true. If you really want to feel like you're making a difference and making change, then show up at these events. I think you'll find that it's a great way to make change happen on a local level, which can thrive into something much bigger. I hope this was helpful, guys. These are the kind of videos that I do. I give people the tools they need to thrive despite any health circumstance. I also design online courses to help people better manage stress, depression, and anxiety. So if that sounds like something that interests you, visit healthyconsumer.com and click online courses. If you found this video helpful, consider subscribing and hit the little bell so you never miss another video. Can't wait to see you next time, guys.